Hey everyone, this is Joe from BitBang with another video about the TKO. That's part of a larger set of videos or a playlist about the TKO, how to use it, its forms and functions, how it behaves, and things of that nature. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Bluetooth advertisement. That's advertisement is just a technical term for the BLE and Bluetooth community, explaining how or the behavior rather of the Bluetooth antenna on something that's waiting for something to get connected to it. So the way it works, as you might have seen in other videos, to recap, the Bluetooth on the TKO, when you plug it in, it gets powered and it broadcasts and it says, hey, I'm a TKO, anybody connect to me. I don't care who it is, it could be someone's computer, someone's phone, or whatever. Now, it's not like it can go super far, right? If you're, let's say 40 feet away, the chances of someone connecting to this thing are pretty slim. You really can't connect that far away. Bluetooth is it's not a line of sight kind of technology, but it doesn't go very far. So it's not like it's a shortwave radio or a ham radio or a Wi-Fi. It definitely, it's not meant to be used for far away. So I wouldn't worry about that. In apartments, yeah, you could always connect to someone else's computer. I mean, I've seen people connect through walls to people's coffee machines and fridges, but people don't generally do that, right? Unless they're trying to be nefarious. So there isn't a mechanism to get around that, and I'm explaining that in detail. But to recap, if you hit scan on here, right, it's going to scan for TKOs, and there's one TKO here. This is actually, this controller here is off. That stick is off. And it found one TKO. That means that this TKO is broadcasting and it says, please somebody find me. I'm going to choose it. I'm going to connect to it. But once you're connected, nobody else can find it. It went from advertisement to connection, right? It went from white to blue, to recap. So now I'm going to enter this, and now I'm inside the TKO. Nobody else can connect to it, right? Because it's not advertising. It's already one-to-one. If I had this unplugged, right, powered down, it wouldn't advertise, right? It just wouldn't work at all. There is one way though to make it not advertise, and that's only possible on startup. So if I go back to the connection page, right, I'm going to disconnect from here. It's going to go from blue to white. There's white, and I'm going to have my lovely assistant by the computer unplug it, and I'm going to hold these two buttons down. They're going to go ahead and replug it in. Okay, you heard the beep from Windows. So what did that do? These two buttons are start and select, and these are how you can change how you advertise on startup. So let's say at home, you don't really care. You plug in your TKO, it advertises, you're happy, it's fine. But let's say you just don't want to change the settings. You don't want to connect to it, and you want no one else to connect to it. Usually at home, you don't care. You leave it advertising. But if you're at a tournament and you're quite happy with the settings, and it's pretty slim, you'd be changing settings on the fly anyway, right? If you don't want to advertise, you can hold start and select. And what's going to happen is now this thing is not advertising at all. It just refuses to advertise. We're gonna show that right now. So if I scan for this, and you see that's on, right? Try scanning for this, it will not find the TKO. See 0 TKOs, and just to scan it again to make sure. That's telling the app there's no TKO, not that it's not on, there's no TKO advertising. So again, 0. So now if I have my assistant unplug it again, which by the way is Steph, you see her on the Discord a lot. Okay, so it's on, right? And notice I didn't press start and select. So I'm going to hit scan. And they'll find it this time. And there it is, right? So I'm going to go ahead and scan it. So that's it, right? That's pretty easy. If you're on, and this is called, I call this BLE automatically advertise mode, because when you plug it in, without you touching anything, it's going to automatically advertise. If you plug it in and hold start and select at the same time before plugging it in, you basically said, no, don't automatically advertise. If you go into BLE mode, you can switch this behavior, and that behavior that's pretty intuitive. It's called automatic. Now, if you want the reverse to happen, where you'd rather not have it advertise ever, right? You go to manual, right? So now it's flipped. Now when you plug it in, it just won't advertise unless you plug it in while holding start and select. It's just the same thing, but the opposite, right? The opposite behavior, or the opposite way to get into the behavior. So if I leave this, right, and I disconnect from it, now I'm gonna have it unplugged and plugged in again. So we're plugged in, right? So now before, when I plugged in, it would advertise. Now it's plugged in, I didn't press anything, it shouldn't advertise. So when I go ahead and scan, it's gonna scan and see if there's anything there. And there you go, I can't find the TKO at all. Now if I unplug it, and then plug it back in again, okay? Now if I unplug it, and I hold these two buttons down, and I replug it back in, right? This is going to now advertise. And there you go, advertising. So that's the difference between automatic BLE advertisement mode and manual advertisement mode. It's just a way for you to kind of block other people from using your stick. Not that it would really happen, but it's also a way for you to, if you feel like having it advertised or not. I imagine people who are at home playing, you have your BLE mode set to just automatic, and you just leave the advertisement. And if your neighbor happens to connect by accident, it's not really a big deal because it's very, 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 very slim chance. But at a tournament, if someone seems to know you have a TKO or there's more TKOs in the area, what you would do is you would have it set to manual. That way you configure it all before going to the tournament. You have it to manual, you plug it in, and then it won't advertise. That way you have the peace of mind that no one can mess with your settings while you're playing, because if your settings are changed during gameplay, it is gonna change something, right? Now, what can they really change? If you have a stick, not a whole lot. But if you have an antagonist or magicians, right, with a leverless or antagonist button, then yeah, it's gonna cause you kind of grief, right? Other than that, they can change your LED animations and things like that, but that's not really that big of a deal. It does kind of feel like someone's haunting or possessing the stick or your controller. And that's pretty much it. If you are wanting another explanation of this, when you're inside the menu, you just hit that info button. It'll explain it to you in the same detail. That way you'll always know what kind of mode operates in what behavior. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.